Welcome to Mean Goils, that starts off with the janitor dude from Scrubs and Jordan Peterson's wife as the parents of teenage Lindsay Lohan, sending her off to her first day of American high school after being homeschooled and living all of her life in Africa, only moving back to the States now for reasons. And she narrates all that, but step aside, bitch, it's my time now. They drop her off at school for her first day and she almost gets run over by a bus, but narrowly misses it and enters the premises. Who the fuck 180s and goes into the street like that? Haven't your parents taught you how to cross a road? You lived in fucking Africa, for God's sake. Have you seen most of the roads in Africa? They're insane. Anyway, she gets in her first class and mistakes the tall kid for the teacher, then bumps into the real teacher, making her spill all her coffee on herself or other unknown cold liquid, because if it was coffee she'd be screaming right now, which prompts her to take her top off and her undershirt sticks to her top. She's basically naked in front of all these horny teenagers. I feel like any school teacher with an actual fucking brain would have gone to the bathroom to do this, or at least stepped outside, but who cares. Lindsay, or Katie, tries to get used to normal school that day and fails to make any friends. Talks to some black folk in Swahili, Cape Townese, or some African language. It turns out she's more African than them because they don't understand her. Next day she makes friends with this homosexual and rude lesbian who's like, this is Damien, massive fan. He's almost too gay to function, and they make her skip class and hang out with her for a little bit and give her a glimpse of the plastics. The popular rich, hot, fake, asshole bimbo bitches of this school that everybody looks up to, although they low-key hate them. Karen is a retard of the group, Gretchen Wiener is a super rich and super nosy bitch of the group, and Regina is the evil leader of them, but all three of them are whores. Janet continues to give her a quick school guide about all the social groups and shit. Then in the cafeteria while getting food, the plastics invite Katie to sit with them because she's pretty and they're like,
oh my god, you're so fit, you're from Africa, shut up.
Then invite her to be part of the plastics because she's smoking hot. She reports this to Janet later, and Janet tells her that she has to agree and be part of the plastics so she can report back to her all the evil shit Regina says, because Janet hates her ever since she spread a rumor about her that she's a lesbian. Katie agrees, and next day she joins the plastics and they tell her about the rules of the group that she must follow to be in the group, which includes stuff like they must all use the same tampons and pads to mix all their period blood for a satanic ritual they do every weekend. All their pubes must be shaved in the shapes of top hats, and the first banana they eat for the day must be eaten while deep throating it and making eye contact with a random dude. I obviously made all that shit up, but trust me, all their rules are equally ridiculous. Then they ask her if she has any questions while Regina goes to get some food, and she tells them she has this crush on this one guy in math class called AA Ron, and Wiener's like, oh my god, no you can't, that's Regina's ex-boyfriend, but don't worry, I won't tell her. Of course, later she tells her, because she's a bitch that can't keep her fat trap shut. Then after math class, this Indian dude Napur tells her that they want her to join mathletes because she's good at math. Does this dude have kidney failure or some shit? Why are his eyes so fucking yellow? Whatever. She then ogles AA Ron doing sports when the plastics roll up like, get in loser, we're going shopping. They go to the mall. Regina casually ruins this girl's life by telling her mom that she does segs. Then they go to her house, pass by her younger sister who's in hoe training. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called horrible parenting. What she is watching is Degenerate, and this generation's version of how to grow to be a TikTok thought. Don't be like that. Be better. Be smarter. We then see the horrible parent in charge of this child, who is just as fake as the plastics. They go up to Reggie's room and they show her the burn book, where they roast all the girls in the school, and Janet, or Janice, is in there, burned in as a fucking doik mate. They ask who the dude in the picture with her is, and Katie, trying to fit in, is like, oh, that's Damien, he's too gay to function. Repeating exactly what Janice said, which is a big mistake, because they like that and they read it in the book. Then she reports the existence of this book to Janice, but doesn't tell her what she said about Damien and that they wrote it in there, and doesn't tell her that she's in there as well, and she's like, those bitches. I think that she would have been mad regardless whether she was in the book or not. But why did Katie not tell her about these two things? It's fucking pointless to admit them. We already know they're evil, so it wouldn't have been a surprise if they had something about Janice in there. Also, saying something about Damien that Janice said first, you know, they forgive you because you're undercover and you're trying to play the part. So why are you lying? Anyway, Regina then does sly, manipulative, bitchy shit, calls Katie on the phone with Gretch secretly on the line, telling her that she knows about her liking AA Ron, but it's okay because she gives her blessing to talk to him, and tricks Katie into calling Wiener a fucking bitch or something, or attention whore. As we know, Gretch is there and she's like, after that she starts to chit chat with AA Ron, and he invites her to a Halloween party. She takes it seriously and dresses up as a zombie bride because she doesn't know that costume parties and Halloween are just excuses for attractive females to dress up even hoier and be super sluts. This is a face of a cucked father, a Zeta male, a man that knows that his daughter's too far down the hoe road to try and change it without being called a fucking tyrant, a man that knows the film crew of 16 and Pregnant might be walking through that door any minute now. I'm gonna stop. So at the party, Karen embraces Alabama tradition and goes to make out with her cousin while Reggie, quote unquote, talks to AA Ron for Katie, like putting in a good word for her and whatever, but in reality she's just talking shit about her in front of her face but out of earshot, then makes out with him in front of her. Katie gets super mad and sad and cries and leaves, goes over to Janice and Damien, tells them what happened. Up till this point, she's giving Reggie the benefit of the doubt, thinking that she's actually a good person, but now she's convinced that she's evil and wants to exact revenge on her. Janice is on board with that and comes up with a 3-step plan to ruin her life. First, destroy her love life with AA Ron. Second, ruin her body. Third, dismantle her friend group. But while they execute this plan, Katie's going to have to pretend that everything's okay. The next day, Regina claims that AA Ron came onto her, which is fake news, and now they're back in a relationship together again. The dude is kind of a helpless retard here because he's a horny teenager and his dick is like a compass that points to horny, and Regina's evil ass has fucked with his magnetic north. Fucking poetry that line was, by the way. They keep trying to sabotage Regina, but all their attempts make her look even cooler for the NPCs, so they switch tactics and get smart. Katie sends herself a candygram, which is a thing they do on Christmas where they send each other candy canes with little notes on them. Girls think it's cute, I guess, and Katie sends herself one pretending that it was from Regina. Gretch takes the candygram and reads it and is like,
why the hell didn't I get one? Like, what the fuck?
Now she's overthinking that Regina might be mad at her and stuff like that. Do Katie and Regina have the same handwriting? Because if not, then such a judgmental floozy like Gretch she would totally notice the difference in handwriting, but most girls do have similar handwriting, so whatevs. Reggie Wiener starts overthinking her relationship with Regina, starts thinking that she's mad at her, and in turn gets mad at her for being mad at her, because that's how women work. And she starts spilling Regina's secrets to Katie, who's like, yes, bitch, give me the tea, but in her head, obviously. And at the Wien-Tur talent show where they do a provocative dance to skanky clothing to a Christmas song called Jingle Bell Cock, she accidentally kicks the CD player playing the song, and it stops playing the song, but Katie saves the dance by starting to sing the song with her own voice. Regina's sort of mad at Fetch now after the show. Fetch gets even sadder and madder and starts venting more to Katie, telling her that Reggie cheats on AA Ron every Thursday with this dude named Shane in the auditorium, or whatever that place is called. So Damien, Janice, and Katie keep trying to lure AA Ron over there on Thursdays to catch her in the act, but they keep failing and only catch their school gym coach being a pedophile. Then she gives Regina these nutrition bars her mom used to give to kids in Africa so they can gain weight, duping her into thinking that they're weight loss nutrition bars because she's trying to lose weight. Like, here, try these weird Swedish nutrition bars I used to use to lose weight before I got addicted to cocaine. Regina buys this nonsense and gets addicted to the bars herself. Meanwhile, Katie has been with the plastic for so long she's starting to turn plastic herself, morphing into one of those dumb bitches. She's too deep in there. You're too deep, Lindsay. Pull back. Pull back. Janice notices this bitchy, plasticky attitude change, and even though Katie's a nerd that's really good at math, she starts dumbing herself down and failing math as an excuse for fucking room temperature IQ AA Ron to tutor her. And while tutoring her, they face mash, and he starts feeling guilty for making out with her because he's trying to be loyal to Regina. So she blurts out, "These hoes ain't loyal," telling him that Regina's cheating on him. And he breaks up with her. Regina is devastated for like 2 seconds, but then quickly gets over it with the dude she was cheating with. Damien makes the votes for the nominees to Spring Fling Kling Gustavo Fring Queen to include Fetch Gretch alongside Reggie, which makes her question her beauty and get jealous and that type of stuff. Then she tries on a dress for the spring thing and turns out she's too fat for the dress. Later on, the math teacher tells Katie that she needs to tell her parents that she's failing math, so she gets really mad and vents to the girls, and they coerce her into writing some mean shit about teacher in the burn book, and she writes that she's a pill pusher or she sells drugs. Then she does some more devious manipulation on the plastics themselves. I'm not gonna go too in depth on this because this next part includes lots of he said, she said, making me stutter a million fucking times while recording this, and it's not even funny enough to include. It's just sad. So I'm not even gonna try, it's just gonna overload my speech capabilities. So the gist of what happens is she gets them all on the call thinking they're all having one-on-one conversations with each other, no one knowing that they're all on the call together, having them talk shit about each other's backs in front of each other, so everybody like feels that Regina is talking shit about them. And after that, Regina comes to school committing a cardinal sin of their group, wearing sweatpants because it's the only thing that fits her fat ass now, and that's an illegal thing to do in their group, and she is no longer allowed to sit with them. She's fucking exiled from the group. And with that, all 3 points have been hit. But the rest of the plastics now are like headless chickens and sheep without a fucking leader. Katie finds herself accidentally becoming their new head honcho. She starts being a super manipulative and controlling bitch, lying to her parents and Janice and Damien, cancelling on their plans and flaking on them, and instead on the same day sets up a small secret party, doesn't invite Janice and Damien or Regina to that party, which quickly gets out of hand and becomes a bigger than usual party. It doesn't like get Project X ridiculous, it just gets a little bit bigger. She'd invited Aaron to come to this party and hook up with him. He gets there and Regina arrives right after she'd heard of this party and came to like be a bitch or whatever. Gets in, he sees her and tries to escape her, goes up to Katie's bedroom where she is as well in the bathroom, comes out and they start like chatting and shit, and he gets disgusted by her because she's drunk and acting a lot like Regina. Then Regina walks in to find Katie throwing up on Aaron. He leaves because he's disgusted. Katie tries to stop him and she sees Damien and Janice driving by, who are really mad at her because she cancelled their plans and lied to them and didn't invite them to the party, and she's like, it's like you're one of them now, you're a mean girl, you're a bitch. And while Regina leaves, she finds out that her make me thin bars are actually make me fat bars, and she is livid, starts screaming all the way to her fucking home. It must have been screaming for like 50 minutes, and writes some mean shit about herself in the burn book, and then leaks it to the school principal the next day, crying and acting like she's devastated, saying that she found it somewhere in the school and she can't believe her eyes. He's like, who could have wrote this? And she's like, only 3 girls in this whole school aren't in it, obviously naming Karen, Katie, and Fetch Batch, who all get called into the principal's office while Reggie walks the halls and throws thousands of copies of this burn book into the hallways and into the classrooms, obviously making it look like she had nothing to do with this book and Katie masterminded it all. Between periods, all the girls in school read these things about them, and some of them are true, some of them are not. They're thinking who would have spread this, and it's most likely their friends. They find that out, so they're fucking pull each other's hair and fighting. It's a fucking bloodbath there. They're beating each other up like animals. Janice and Damien read shit about themselves that only Katie could have said, like the too gay to function shit, and the math teacher also reads shit about herself that only Katie could have said, the pill pushing stuff. The principal hears Carnes outside the door and he comes out to a shit ton of cat fighting, so he pulls the fire alarm and tells them all to get into the school gymnasium. Pulling a fire alarm without there being an actual fire is a felony, and knowing America, the punishment for you, my dear friend, is going to be way more severe than it needs to be. Just saying. Anyway, they all pile into the school gymnasium and he's like, the fuck is wrong with y'all? Now clearly, y'all got a bunch of lady problems with each other. So let's talk about them, shall we? Who wants to go first? Yes, you. They all make fun of me for shooting out period blood like a garden hose, but it's not my fault I got a massive vagina and a squirt gun uterus. Yeah, I'm not equipped for this. Miss Norbury, can you please take over? Sure. She has them all admit to internal dramas in their respective friend groups and tells Reggie to sit the fuck down because everybody agrees that she's the meanest bitch of them all and sits the fuck back down. Then she has them each write an apology down and say it, then do a trust fall off the table where they all catch her. They all apologize for calling each other hilarious insults like, Alyssa, I'm sorry I called you a gap-toothed bitch. It's not your fault you're so gap-toothed. But then Gretch goes up there like, I'm sorry you're all so jealous of me, but I can't help that I'm so popular. And only Karen offers to catch her when she falls, and no bones or backs were broken in this event. Not even a minor injury, which is fucking ridiculous, but whatever. Katie chickens out of doing her apology, so Janet steps up, exposing the plan to ruin Regina's life, but framing an apology to expose Katie as well, and shove her plan and its success in Regina's face. Like, I'm sorry I convinced you, Katie, to mess up Regina's life by making her fat and all that other stuff they did. And she dives into the crowd as a hero for ruining the life of this mean bitch that everybody hates. Reggie storms out to school fuming. Katie's following her, apologizing and shit, and they have an argument in the middle of the road. And while Regina is in the middle of cussing her out, a fucking bus comes by and runs her over. And as much as I love the fact that my intrusive thoughts finally won for once in one of these movies, how fucking long was this bus driver not paying attention for it to run her over? I get there's a small hill before that obscures vision a little bit, but that's nowhere near big enough to excuse him running her over and not paying attention. You still got a nice stretch of road to look ahead and avoid this from ever happening. But whatever. Bitch doesn't die, she's just super badly injured. All of this news and drama obviously gets to Katie's parents. Her mom is super mad at her, but her dad's pretty chill. He still grounds her though. And next day in school, Katie takes full responsibility for writing that book. Now half the school hates her because they blame her for writing the book, and half the school loves her because they think she pushed Regina in front of that bus. So she decides to make everything right and apologize to everybody, including Regina, saying that
when you get bit by a snake, you're supposed to suck the poison out.
No, you dumpster brain bitch, you're not supposed to do that. That spreads the venom to your mouth, dumbass. Whatever. She apologizes to Reggie, who's in back braces, improves her grades, and Teach Snowsberry makes her get into mathletes as punishment for spreading rumors about her selling drugs. She forgives her about it though because she's a good guy. Katie takes part in the mathletes final competition thing that takes place on the same night as the spring fling bing chilling dance, and after 87 minutes of intense mathlete competition against another school's team, or as I like to call it, math-turbating, she 1v1s another girl on the team in the final question and wins the math competition for her school. The team goes back to enjoy the final minutes of the spring fling thing, and they make it back just in time for her to find out that she won spring fling queen because everybody voted for her through a combination of hating Regina and horniness. She goes up to take the prize or wear the tiara, whatever, and makes a little speech apologizing for all her wrongdoings and behavior, taking full credit for the burn book, then compliments everybody, breaks up the tiara and gives pieces of it to all the nominees for Gustava Fring Queen, then breaks it up some more and throws more pieces out to the crowd, telling them that they're all queens and they all deserve it. Like, yas, queen, you go girl. The thing is though, the amount of tiara she's giving out looks hella disproportionate to the amount she had in the first place. In other words, it looks like she's giving out more tiara than there was available initially. Cause look at this, she gave almost a full third of it to Fetch Bitch. And look at how much she's throwing out to the crowd. Where is she getting all this from? Did she get an infinite tiara? Whatever. She gains back the respect and forgiveness of everyone, including her parents who were there, cause her dad has a little bit confusion about what the word grounded means. So do I actually, cause isn't the mathletes thing a punishment? So she's technically allowed to go do that since it's not her going out to have fun. But I guess since she didn't even try and explain that she's going out to do something like that, then it doesn't count. Whatever, who cares? She makes up with Janice and Damien and gets with AA Ron. Indian kidney failure dude gets with Janice. Reg takes up lacrosse. Karen gropes herself on TV. Fetch learns Vietnamese, and they all get along with each other fine now. Then they see the new generation of plastics almost get run over by a bus. Does this school only hire homicidal autists as bus drivers or something? What the fuck? Whatever. This movie gets 87 fetches out of 87 ponytails.